7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Finally, this happened. Listen to that roar. Look at all that smoke. Impressive. For the first time in its existence, Booster 9 ignited forcefully by Raptor engines. This is also the first firing since the April 20th integrated test flight and serves as an important milestone for Starship's next flight. This test is the perfect combination of the power of the engines and the epic new water deluge system on the vehicle's launch pad. We're often blinded by the beauty, but this test is not as it seems. Is it really as good as we think? So what went wrong? What happened to the Raptor engines and the water deluge system? Stay tuned as we dive into these questions and more in this episode of Alpha Tech. The aftermath of SpaceX's fiery Starship test in April had led to widespread speculation about the future of the Starship program, particularly due to the extensive damage to the launch pad. However, SpaceX has successfully rebounded after the static fire test, rapidly igniting all 33 engines of the Starship on August 6th at the Starbase site in Boca Chica Beach, Texas. The static fire test is a significant milestone before the rocket launch, as it enables engineers to gather data about the rocket engine's performance in other systems, like tanks and their pressures. For SpaceX, each run is especially crucial, as it allows the company to collect additional data about the Raptor engine system and the operability of the new water deluge system. SpaceX began the process of fueling the rocket early in the morning, but encountered an issue when chilling the lines that run to the rocket, and a red team was sent back to the pad to perform repairs. After the repairs were completed, the red team departed and SpaceX spooled up their fuel tank farm again. After a couple hours of chilling the fuel lines, filling of the liquid oxygen and liquid methane tanks aboard Booster 9 began at T-minus 67 minutes. The liquid oxygen tank was filled with the liquid methane, only partially filled with what was required for the test. The water deluge systems activated about 6 seconds before igniting the engines. After a smooth countdown, Booster 9 ignited all 33 Raptor engines. When the flames from the Raptors met the flowing water below, instead of a dust cloud as seen in the static test of Booster 7, a towering steam cloud, nearly as tall as the rocket itself, formed and dissipated rapidly after the test. But not all the engines performed perfectly. 4 of them shut down early during the 2-minute 47-second duration test. Before this, a test conducted in April revealed that the rocket took a significant amount of time before leaving the launch pad. Therefore, for this test, the company experimented with a new ignition sequence for Starship and hoped that the trial would occur in just under 5 seconds, as stated by John Insprucker, SpaceX's host of the live webcast. But 29 out of 33 is not bad, and both Booster 9 and the orbital launch mount emerged from the test in one piece. So there's plenty of reason for SpaceX to celebrate. A big congrats to the Starship team for getting through today's test, SpaceX's John Insprucker said. That moves us another step closer to our next flight test. To be honest, this test also demonstrates the highly favorable progress of Booster 9 compared to its predecessor 7, which had been tested earlier. There have been no explosions, Booster 9 still intact and undamaged, and it can return to the production site for upgrades at any time. But through this trial, SpaceX is certainly going to need to evaluate or replace 4 engines that abruptly shut down during the test to avoid encountering the same mishap that afflicted Booster 7 with a shutdown of up to 8 engines during ascent, resulting in uncontrolled vibrations and inadequate altitude for stage separation. Another pending issue is the rocket's flight termination system, which will be used to destroy the rocket in case it deviates from its intended path during the flight. Just under 90 seconds after its maiden voyage, the flight termination system of the Super Heavy rocket was activated. However, there was a delay of about 40 seconds between system activation and the rocket breaking apart. This time delay does not pose any safety concerns for the rocket offshore, but it's an unacceptable delay for a system that's supposed to terminate the flight almost immediately. A few days after this launch attempt, SpaceX founder Elon Musk mentioned that the issue could be resolved with a longer ignition wire to ensure rapid and complete depressurization of the propellant tanks. Addressing this might take some time. Besides, the force of igniting so many Raptor engines at once proved to be quite damaging to the launch pad, as SpaceX learned during the first test flight of Starship. Though only 30 Raptor engines were initially ignited, they still caused what SpaceX CEO Elon referred to as a rock tornado underneath the launch pad. The launch sent chunks of concrete and debris thousands of feet in the air, damaging the pad and littering the nearby landscape. To prevent another explosive event, SpaceX's engineers have been installing steel plates underneath Starship's launch pad, meant to deflect the immense heat and forces caused by the Raptor engines. A water-cooled metal plate was newly installed beneath the launch pad, successfully safeguarding the infrastructure during this test, and it marked the first time that SpaceX attempted to test the Deluge system while igniting the engines. This successful trial will facilitate the path forward for Starship, as SpaceX can amass a significant amount of data regarding the performance of the refurbished launch site and the water deluge system, providing information that the FAA requires as part of their launch licensing process. This is perhaps an essential step to distinctly demonstrate the safety and effectiveness of the launch pad. SpaceX possesses a uniquely innovative approach to improvement. And why do we say that? Well, when it comes to fire diversion and dampening tactics, the gold standard in the launch industry has been to build some kind of flame trench, a long, often V-shaped duct that helps redirect massive energy and gas away from the launch pad and the rocket itself. Typically used in combination with a water deluge system, it's a fairly standard infrastructure for practically any orbital rocket today, including rockets launched by SpaceX. It's sort of astonishing to me that we didn't use the practices that the launch industry's perfected for decades, said George Sowers, a professional for mechanical engineering at the Colorado School of Mines, who previously worked for Martin Marietta, Lockheed Martin, and the United Launch Alliance. Whenever a rocket is ignited, scientists must account for several factors that can damage the rocket and the surrounding area. The most obvious one is the heat from the engines. Another is sound. The heightened acoustics of the engines produce a lot of energy. And third, and often overlooked, the issue is a fast-moving gas plume generated by the engine. When asked why SpaceX wasn't considering adding a flame trench, Musk said in a Twitter Spaces conversation back in April that steel plates were another option and were pretty confident it'll work. That is indeed accurate, as Musk has effectively lived up to his word. This trial's demonstrated to us the extent of SpaceX's successful ideas and that they haven't followed the well-trodden path that most others take. SpaceX founder Chief Engineer Elon has indicated that this flight will aim to achieve similar objectives as the initial test flight, but predicts there's now a 50% chance of reaching orbital velocity during the upcoming flight attempts to space. The increased confidence stems from a tremendous number of overhauls made to the spacecraft, with well over 1,000 changes implemented since the last flight test, he said in June. Despite the technical progress, SpaceX is facing challenges beyond the engineering realm. The Federal Aviation Administration is conducting a comprehensive review of the Starship accident, considering multiple aspects, and has issued an order to halt all SpaceX spacecraft until public safety is ensured. However, it's hoped that through this test trial, more favorable data will be generated for SpaceX, expediting FAA approval in the upcoming fall. And that's it for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Please let us know what you think in the comments section below. Your feedback is very important to us and helps us make better videos for you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.